Okay, we're going to be taking a stroll down into the basement, and some music aficionados will be pleased to see a lot of the stuff down here. But the main thing we're going to focus on is the Witchfinder General Memorabilia. And we'll start out with that poster that's in the Buried Amongst the Ruins compilation that I talked about before. And that's the other poster I have from my other copy of Live 83. And before I get to the amplifier and a couple other things, let's go around over here. So that sleeve is that was the redo of Buried Amongst the Ruins, but Russ from Buried by Time and Dust Records actually told me the original one that came out, which I think is fairly rare, is that one. And they had to tell, I think it was Yosuke from Nuclear War Now Productions, we have to redo this thing because no one's going to be able to read that. You can't even see the picture of them. It's all, that'd be like opaque. I don't know, but very, very difficult to see the pictures. So that's a fun little factoid for people out there. If you have that copy, you can only see them from like the side. If you look dead on, it's very, very difficult. Okay, moving on. The main attraction that we're going to be looking at is obviously that poster. You guys have seen that before. But the cabinet that Phil bought back in the day is that Laney cabinet. And it's got the Celestion G12H 30-watt speakers, and they're all greenbacks. And that is going to be those two cabinets right there. So the bottom one is Phil's cabinet from 1976. I bought that off a guy in the UK. His username was the Music Locker. And I never even knew about this until someone posted it on the Witchfinder General Facebook site that this guy was selling the cabinets only. And I was surprised. I'm like, why would Phil sell just the cabinets without the speakers? So I inquired more, and it turned out he actually had the speakers, but he just pulled them out separately. Now, I don't know why he did that. I don't know if he was trying to flip them for more money, but it didn't make much sense to me. He was going to sell an empty Laney clip cabinet, but who knows? That's what you get for asking. So these two cabinets, the one below is from 1976, and I have the receipt from that. And that one is from either early 1983 or late 82. I can't remember. But a buddy of mine in California has the receipt for that one, because I think, my guess is, he bought that one obviously in 1976, and then these were bought for the Friends of Hell tour, maybe just after Death Penalty. Maybe they got a little bit of advance money for the tour. But they're all loaded with Celestion Greenback G12H 75 hertz speakers. They're I'm trying to think if there is any other things I want to say about that. I'm probably missing one factoid about them at this time, but they are incredibly loud. They're very heavy, and these were in Phil's mom's basement, I think, for a long time, since like the last time these were played was the mid 80s, I believe. So as you remember from the pictures, Phil had 3 stacks of these. One whole stack, the clip and the 2 other cabinets, was sold to a buddy of his back in the 90s, I believe. That's what he told me. And then the guy from the Music Locker over in the UK had clip, and then the 4 other 4x12s for sale, and those have all sold. That Laney clip up there is not Phil's. That's one that I bought, I believe, in, oh God, was that 2017, 2016? something like that. Those are getting exceptionally hard to find nowadays. But I don't know if there's anything else to see with these. Got the sticker. Got the sticker right there. They smell like a damp, musty old basement. Phil put some fabric on here. There's a metal grate right here too, so you can't poke the speaker. You can see in the old photos from Live 83, you were able to see the speakers back then, but you can tell that grate was still on there. I think that was maybe so when they were traveling. No one poked their hand or something through the speaker when they were going from show to show. But that's my only that's the only reasoning I could think of why he would put something like that on there. But these are all, looks like, I think by trade he was a woodworker. He might have been a carpenter. So he definitely did some refinishing to these, and they repainted them. Maybe him and Rocky did it. But they're super sharp looking. They're very heavy, extremely loud. There's a couple of videos where I'm playing with this thing. And I just have a couple more things to show you guys. That's just the Laney clip we're recording right now for our album. That's the settings I have it on. And these are pretty cool. These are two beer coasters that are cut from the Resurrected album. I'm not sure if a lot of people have these, but these were given to me by the guys from Buried by Time and Dust Records. And I always thought those were super cool. It's just the middle of the album cut out, probably the rejects, and you make beer coasters out of them. Oop. And here's the last thing I'm going to show off. This is probably one of the rarest things, or possibly the rarest thing that I own from Phil, and we'll bring it over here. This is Phil's original Park Fuzz Pedal. I'll put it on my special flannel over here with the Live 83 patch, and there is another patch from either the Live 83 Die Hard edition, or this came from somewhere else, one other LP release that I bought. But this is Phil's original Park Fuzz pedal. This was originally, it was like a blue jean metal flake color, like the typical Park Fuzzes from the late 1960s and early 1970s. It's basically a Solosound Tone Bender Mark III or Mark IV, I believe. A friend was helping me track that down. There's a Carling switch right here. This is the fuzz control. This is volume, and this is the tone. These knobs, I believe, if there's anyone that's an old Carlsboro amplifier fan, these knobs look very similar to that. And his buddy Rocky the Roundhead, he spray painted this all black and refinished it so it had a really dark color to it. I guess Phil really liked keeping this thing low profile, and he wanted to make it look like Tony Iommi, so it didn't look like there was anything on stage. All he did was he would adjust the volume on his guitar, and that would this thing was always on basically during the shows. And on the underside you can see the guts of the pedal. Looks like Rocky may have had some electrical background, because he rewired all this for Phil, and it's really clean sounding. He put a little battery holder in there. Again, I don't like using batteries with these things. Me and my dad took this piece and we put a 9-volt battery holder in there. But there's Phil's name. There's my name. I bought this in November of 2024. You can really see the guts of it right there. Get in the light for you. Very clean electrical work, and it shows. Let's give you a couple of close-ups. I think he accidentally painted over his fuzz sign right there, but This pedal is actually made backwards, like I said in my first video. If you want the fuzz on full, you got to turn it counterclockwise. But everything else works clockwise for full on, so the volume's on full. I got the tone backed off a little bit. I'll work my phone a little bit. I got the tone backed off a little bit, and the fuzz is about 90% to max. So that's pretty much it. That is all of the Witchfinder General memorabilia that I have and I own, and maybe some more in the future will come my way, but that's the latest and greatest, and thanks for watching.